Hi, have you ever heard about the GROW model? Well, the GROW model is the most famous coaching model. It is used by managers, by coaches, and by anyone willing to have a meaningful conversation. And today, we're going to look at the 4 steps of the GROW model. G for goal, R for reality, O for options and obstacles, and W for way forward. Ready? Let's get started. I'm Geraldine. I'm an executive coach, and I'm the co-founder of Go Master Coach, a coaching school to help you develop your coaching skills and become ICF certified. All right, let's go on a journey together. I'm going to ask you to take your phone and open your app to book a taxi. In Singapore, we use an app called Grab, the same as Uber basically. So let's get on a journey together. When you open your Grab app, the first thing you ask is, where would you like to go? What is your objective basically? This is your goal. So let's say I'm based in Singapore and I want to go to the beach. I want to relax because I'm very stressed. I'm working very hard at the moment. This is my goal. Next, what is the second step? The second question you ask is, where are you now? What is your reality? My reality is that I'm at home working very hard. So I will enter my home address. Next, what are your options? So basically, I can decide to take a regular taxi, or I can decide to upgrade. I can also decide to share a cab. What else could I do? Actually, I can also decide to walk. Well, it's a bit far. Maybe take my bike. As I'm very stressed, it can help me relax. That's another option. And you will see that most of the time, the first option, the most obvious, are not the best ones. Okay, what is this 4 step? The 4 step is, what do you want to do now? What do you decide? What's your way forward? So let's say that I'm a bit tired, so maybe I will take a Grab car premium. This is my decision. This is my will. Okay, this is an analogy for you to really understand in a very simple way the 4 steps of the GROW model. You will see it sticks. You will remember this analogy. Okay, let's look at each step in more details. So when you start a coaching conversation, whether you are a manager or coach or anyone else, you will start by, what do you want? What is your objective for today's conversation? You need to help your client define a goal, a very precise goal. And once you have defined a goal, you need to help your client define the outcomes. So what do you want to achieve? But also, what does success look like? It's very important to define the goal and the outcomes. Okay? And you need to explore the outcomes. How will you know you've reached your goals? When are you going to achieve it? What are the benefits? Make sure you spend enough time on the goal. Once you have your goal and the outcomes, you need to understand the motivation of your client to reach this goal. You need to understand why this goal is important for them. Okay? For instance, for me, I want to go to Sentosa. I want to relax because I'm very stressed and a bit overwhelmed at the moment. And why is it important for me? Because I'm an entrepreneur, but I'm also a coach. I'm also a wife and a mom of 3 little kids. And for me, it's very important to have a proper work-life balance to be at my best for my family and my clients. So that's my deeper why, my motivation, my driver to reach this goal. All right. So some people ask, okay, why should I cover the goal before the reality? The reason is very simple. If you start from the reality, the goal might not be very ambitious. It might only be a response to a problem. It might lack creativity. That's the reason why it's better to start with a goal. Okay, let's move to the reality now. Where are you now? What is happening? And at this stage, you need to make sure your client is as objective as possible. So you can ask what is happening, what action have you taken so far, what have you done, can you give me an example of the situation? And make sure your client move from judgmental statements to descriptive statements make sure your client is specific enough. Right, you have defined the goal, the outcome, you have covered the reality. Let's move to the options. At this stage of the conversation, you can ask, okay, what are your options? What can you do? And the best question you can ask is, what else? And keep on going. As I mentioned earlier, usually the first options are not the best ones. So make sure you keep the creative juice flowing. Okay? At this stage of the conversation, you don't want to focus on the quality of the options, you want to focus on the quantity. All right, once you have many options, you want to help your client decide. What do you want to do? What are you going to take? What actions are you going to take? What is the very first step you can do? Okay, and at the way forward stage, you want to make sure that your client commits to some actions and is motivated to do them. Okay, so you can ask them about their motivation. How motivated are you? Okay, and you can use a scaling technique from 1 to 10. What is your level of motivation? And if it's below 8, then you need to probably explore a bit more. Okay. So we have covered the 4 steps of the growth model. Now, what you need to know is that you don't have to follow those steps in a sequential order. You can start with the G, move to the R, go back to the G, jump to the O. It's totally okay. You need to be flexible and to dance in the moment with your client. Okay, and obviously listen beyond the words. Look at the body language, shift of energy, emotions. What you don't want to do, you don't want to solve your client's problem. You want to help them find their own solutions. So don't fall into the trap, okay, and to distract. This is very difficult because we are problem solvers. Our brain is designed this way. So, but you will help your client by being a coach, not a mentor. Don't follow a script and don't ask leading questions. All right, so are you ready to have your first grow coaching conversation? Now it's your turn to coach. Have a good one and see you soon.